Mochi Health is a long-term weight loss solution personalized to fit your unique needs and goals. Meet one-on-one with board-certified obesity doctors and registered dietitians who are on a mission to listen. Eligible patients can access custom-formulated GLP-1 medications at an affordable, set price and get them delivered to their home each month. No insurance required. FSA and HSA accepted. With 24/7 customer service available, Mochi Health is here to partner with you on your journey to a healthier life. Take the free quiz at joinmochi.com and use code AUDIO40 at checkout for $40 off your first month of membership. That's joinmochi.com.
If your roof starts to leak or your floors really squeak, you live in a money pit. Money pit.
If your basement needs a pump or your place looks like a dump, you live in a money pit. Money pit. Pick up the telephone.
Fix up your home sweet home by calling 888 Money Pit.
Coast to coast and floorboards to shingles, this is the Money Pit. I'm Leslie Segretti, joined by Jim Kenzie the Great.
Great.
I'm just going to come up with compliments more and more every week.
I'm going to have to give my PR guy a raise. Wait, you are my PR guy.
Hence your hype man. What up? So, Jim, we have just on the East Coast had our first official heat wave. And I think a lot of people across the U.S. dealt with this recently. And it was so hot. Did you have it so hot?
Oh, it was miserable, humid, high 90s.
I was driving home from the city from Good Morning America, and the car was reading 108 degrees one day, and it was awfully hot. And my little tiny baby house faces west, and the sun beats on it all day. So regardless of what I do with the air conditioning, it is warm in the house. And I don't want to crank it because everybody says, don't crank it. But thank God for a town pool. A town pool is great. It was a big treat. That is how I stayed cool. I literally just floated in the deep end of the adult pool. I think they had to check on me several times.
Yeah, these are certainly the days I thank God for Willis Carrier.
Is that your air conditioner?
That's who invented air conditioning, Leslie.
How do I not know this?
You knew it. You forgot it. You're 50 now.
Oh! Right. Menopause. Brain fog. There we go. Who is this again? Oh, Jim. Got it. Well, I thought it was a great time to sort of commit the hour of the Money Pit to give you tips about staying green in your home, staying cool in the home. Maybe we can save some money while achieving the both. So coming up this hour, are you looking to save some green while going green this summer? Well, we've got easy, affordable projects that you can tackle around the house that will shrink your energy bills, cut back on waste, and help the planet, all without calling in a contractor. Also ahead, is your attic working for you or against you this summer? Ahead, we're going to share smart attic upgrades that can help you beat the heat, which will then cut your energy costs and protect your home from summer's worst side effects. It is cooler living from the top down. So that's ahead. And also, do you want to cool your home without touching the thermostat? Coming up, we're going to share how strategic landscaping like trees, trellises, ground cover can all naturally reduce heat and energy bills while giving your yard a green upgrade.
But it's not the Money Pit without the rest of the family chiming in, and that's you. So give us a buzz at 1-888-MONEY-PIT. All right, Leslie, speaking of cooling, first up, it looks like we've got Mike from Alaska. What's going on there, Mike?
I have an upstairs window that leaks when it rains. I notice the soffits are dripping on the outside of the windowsill, and I'm wondering if the reason for the window leaking is because of the soffits, or could it be the roof that's leaking, or even the window that's leaking? I don't know who to call first.
All right, so you're talking about the overhang where the roof overhangs the exterior wall? Is that where you're saying you see the water coming in?
Yeah, I'm seeing drips coming from the soffit.
All right, well, do you have gutters?
Yes.
Well, sometimes gutters get backed up. That water overflows to the back of the gutter and drips through the soffit. Is that what you think you might be seeing?
That's possible, too. I'm just wondering why I see drips coming from the soffits.
Yeah, because if the gutter fills up, like say the downspout is blocked, then the gutter is going to fill up with water, or the rain might just be coming down too fast and it can't move the water as quickly as it needs. Then what happens is that gutter fills up, it overflows on the backside into the soffit area, and you could be seeing a leak there. So what makes you think that that water is coming from the window and not from some area of the wall behind it?
because it drips, and I have to put a towel around the window.
Well, I mean, listen, I just had this whole thing fixed in my house. We had this big window in the foyer. It was pretty much the whole wall. It's pretty much the whole side of my house. I live in a small house, but it's a 10-foot wide window, and it was leaking like straight through the molding. And this was the issue. It wasn't because of the overhang. It wasn't because of a gutter. It was because of a sealant and the flashing. Like the flashing was not put together properly. And when the flashing is not put together properly, no amount of sealant that you could do, if the rain is coming in the right area, in the right direction, at the right speed, it could get into all the nooks and crannies of everything and sort of drip through the trim work and drip through the window. So there could be two things going on here. It could be that you don't have proper flashing, or over time that flashing has failed, or the sealants have failed and sort of closing everything up, or it could be from under the backside of that gutter. So there's a couple of things to look into, but you kind of have to be strategic about it. So when you next see it raining, or if you want to get a hose and just kind of spray at it and replicate like a heavy rainstorm, start to notice really where that water is coming from or where you're spraying and when you see the water, and that could help you determine what the cause of it is and see if you have to repair flashing or if you have to add a new sealant, or if something's going on with the gutter, check those downspouts. But there's a couple of ways that you could attack this. Ultimately, I had to replace my window, which was a huge expense, but it was so nice the other day in a massive thunderstorm to watch no water come into my home.
You were overdue there.
Woof, right? That's been a long time. So hopefully we can figure out what's going on with yours, Mike, before it gets too chilly up in Alaska. All right. It happens to us all. You know, you see a couch, a lamp, a rug online that's just perfect for the room that you are working on. And then you see the price tag and consider your budget. Well, I'm going to let you in on a secret called dupe.com. It is ridiculously easy to use. All you have to do is type dupe.com / before any URL, and it instantly shows you similar products with the same look, but at more affordable pricing options. And these aren't sketchy knockoffs either. Here's the thing. Most people don't realize that a lot of furniture sold online is all produced in the exact same factories as those expensive name brand items. Now, those factories sell to different brands under different names who then list them for different prices. I have seen this all the time. Literally, I just bought a coffee table the other day for $99 using dupe.com that I saw on other websites for like $150, $250. And I kid you not, it was the exact same table. Dupe.com automatically lists these less expensive alternatives. You're going to get the look you want and the price you want. Dupe is one of the most viral shopping hacks on TikTok. Millions of people have already used Dupe to save money, and it's 100% free to use. That $5,000 cloud sofa that you just don't think you can justify, that beautiful mid-century dresser you've had bookmarked forever, Dupe is going to find a similar item, sometimes even the same item, for 60, 70, even 80% off. With Dupe.com, you can finally decorate the house of your dreams without going broke. Go to Dupe.com today and find similar products for less. It's 100% free to use, so stop wasting money on brand names and start saving with Dupe.com today. That's DUPE.com. Check it out today.
And now, Leslie, we've got Susan from California. Susan, what's happening at your money pit?
I'm so glad you said the money pit, because that's exactly what it is. And now it's the driveway, about 1,200 square feet, and it's about 38 years old, and it needs something else done, and I really don't want to resurface it with blacktop. What are my options?
Wolf, I'm sorry you've got a money pit, but we love them. So let's hear what's going on. You've got an asphalt driveway?
Yes.
All right. Well, if you have an asphalt driveway that's been there for the past 38 years of your home and it's never been resurfaced or repaired or anything, then it's probably time to redo that driveway.
It doesn't owe you anything.
Yeah, it's done its job.
What's the best way? Do they just remove the whole thing and then start from scratch, or what's the best way to go?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the best way is to start from scratch, but you can resurface it. But given almost 40 years of usage, you want to make sure that that base is super solid, and you want to make sure that it is very sturdy to take all of the abuse that a driveway does over time. And generally what they would do is they remove all the old asphalt and then sort of assess what's underneath and kind of come back in and put a new base down. So they would remove some of that material, get you down a few inches, then go ahead and put down the aggregate and all of the other materials and tamp it down. I mean, I know when we redid the driveway and went to asphalt, I think it was a little excessive, but our guy tamped down that aggregate so much and then made us drive on it for like a week and a half. He's like, you really want it to be solid like a road. And it for sure as heck was.
Or he had other jobs to finish.
Probably. But I mean, other people I've seen, I was like, they only let that sit for a day. Why was mine a week and a half? But I'm going to go with it made it real sturdy. So that's the process. They really go in and tamp down that aggregate so it itself is as smooth and firm and durable as a road. And then the asphalt is applied on top of that. Now, years down the road, you can seal that asphalt so it has that nice, shiny, finished black surface, make any repairs that you would need, and then put that sealant repairant on top of it. But it should last you several years looking gorgeous as long as that base is correct. So I would kind of think about going in that route, given that you've had 40 years of service.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
All right. I hope that helps you out, Susan. Good luck with your project. And thanks so much for calling us at 888-MONEY-PIT. Hey, you're tired of living in a money pit? Well, we're here to help. And if you want us to help out, it would be awesome if you could leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Just go to moneypit.com/review. It's only going to take a minute, and it means the world to us. You know, given the amount of energy we're all using this season to stay cool and to cool our homes, this hour is all about eco-friendly home improvements and design tips to help out our money pits and Mother Nature. So if you are refreshing your space and you want to go green, why not start with the materials you're choosing? You can look for furniture that's made from reclaimed wood, bamboo, or rattan. They're renewable, they're durable, and they give your space a natural, relaxed, summery feel. You want to look for upholstery made from organic cotton, hemp, or recycled fabrics. That's also a win. And bonus points for choosing pieces that are all locally made or even secondhand. This keeps furniture out of the landfills and gives your home character that you just can't buy new. Okay, before you head out thrifting, give us a call at 888-MONEY-PIT. Jim, who's up next?
Now we've got Mark on the line, Leslie. He's got a log cabin home. Ooh, I love log cabin homes. They're beautiful. And he's got a question, and he wants us to help him keep the log cabin looking amazing. How can we help out today, Mark?
My wife and I bought a log home 8 years ago, and the previous owner hadn't stained it, so it's getting faded and everything. So we'd like to know the process to do that and also the product we should get to do that.
Oh, Gary, you guys are so lucky to have such a beautiful log home. I mean, it's such unique construction and such an interesting type of architecture that just blends in so beautifully with their surroundings. They're really gorgeous, so you're absolutely lucky to have such a great place. Are you sure it's never been stained or anything beforehand? I mean, it's interesting because if it doesn't have anything, then you can kind of do whatever you want to it. And you kind of have to decide you just want to seal it and kind of go with whatever that natural look is of the wood. Or do you want to find a stain, and maybe a gel stain would be a good application here that would sort of match what that log cabin would look like, sort of in that browner, richer tone. So I would try to do something where you're sticking with a whole board of the same manufacturer from cleaning to finishing. You're going to want to make sure that you use a good cleaner that will clean whatever residues kind of built up on that raw lumber over time. Make sure you rinse it away. Make sure you let it dry really well, because untreated wood like that can definitely pick up dirt more quickly and moss and algae. So clean it, let it dry, and then decide what you want to do. Do you want to go with a color that might be an actual color? Do you want to go with something that's more clear and kind of just see what's underneath? So there's a couple of choices. You can do a solid color, a semi-transparent, or a transparent as far as stains opacity would go. Semi-transparent's obviously going to be a little bit lighter. Transparent is sheer. The solid is almost like a paint, but it doesn't sit on top. It gets more saturated into the lumber itself. Whatever you choose, though, make sure it has UV protection built into it so that it can protect that lumber for longer. And while you're doing this, you want to check where those the logs are sort of joined together. It's like a mortar-like material. I believe it's called chinking. It's kind of rubbery, and it goes in between the logs. And if you have to make any repairs, do that now before you put the stain or whatever finish you go with, because you want to just get everything in tip-top shape before you go and put all that work into doing the finishing, because it is going to be work. It's going to take you some time. Sprayers are excellent applicators. Wagner makes a couple of good options that are good home sprayers for stain and for paint alike. But that should do the trick. Do it once, let it work for a long time. So if you take the time to do it well now, this house is going to last, and that stain should last you about 8 to 10 years. Well, summer is the perfect time to roll up your sleeves and take on a few eco-friendly projects around your home. And trust me, these are the kinds of upgrades that help both the planet and your wallet. So let's start outside with rain barrels. They're an easy weekend project, and they let you collect rainwater from your gutters that you can use later on your lawn and on your garden. Now, it's better for your plants, it reduces storm runoff, and best of all, it's free water. Many communities even offer rebates or discounted barrels, so you want to check with your local municipality. Next, head up to your attic or your crawl space and look at your insulation and ventilation. In hot weather, poor attic ventilation can lead to heat buildup, which means that the hat on top of your house is hotter. It's making your air conditioning work overtime. You can add a solar-powered attic fan or upgrade your insulation, and that can help keep your home cooler and cut those cooling costs by as much as 20%. Now, let's talk about smart landscaping. You can consider replacing part of your lawn with native plants or a pollinator garden. Those native plants require less water, less fertilizer, less mowing. They're going to attract bees, butterflies, birds, and that's all going to keep your garden thriving. It's low maintenance, beautiful, and it has a big eco impact. Now, moving inside of your house, this is a great time to upgrade to a smart thermostat. It learns your habits, it adjusts the temperature when you're away, and it can help you save up to 10% on your cooling costs. If you pair that with LED bulbs, even smart plugs, you're going to be cutting your energy use every day without even thinking about it. And finally, just ditch that bottled water. You can install a water filter right on your faucet or under the sink, and then just refill bottles all the time instead. It's one of the easiest ways to reduce plastic waste, and you're never going to run out of clean water during a summer heat wave. These green upgrades, they're simple, affordable, and they make your home healthier, more efficient, and more sustainable. So this summer, think beyond paint and patios. Go green, and your home will thank you all year long. You know, every little bit helps to reduce your footprint and your impact on our earth. All right, Jim, let's get back to the phones.
We're going to have a little chat with Ed now, Leslie. He's got an old house foundation issue. We've discussed those in the past, huh? What's going on there, Ed?
I've got it's an 1880s home. It's a it's a Victorian. It's a Victorian. I have a foundation that's brick. It was put in brick, and I thought I just needed to tuck point it. But as I started looking at it, I realized that some of the bricks are actually starting to bow out, and I probably need to fix it. But when I looked into it and started looking into it, the bottom part of the foundation is only a single layer of bricks thick, like from the basement, from the bottom of the cellar up about 4 feet, and then they basically made a normal brick wall, 2 bricks thick, with an interlocking brick and everything. But the bottom part is only single brick. And because it's starting to bow, I'm like, I really don't want to try. I can just tuck point it, but it's going to hold the bow in place. I'm not sure how I go about fixing that.
The way you're describing this, it makes me think that perhaps at some point this was kind of like a root cellar, just a dirt basement that had that single brick foundation, which would have been fine for the way it was and the way the home was built at the time. And then at some point, maybe they dug out the basement or built something as an extension, so they added to the foundation, which is where you're starting to see that double brick. However, the bowing is concerning. I would say if you try to re-mortar or repoint that brick and there's still consistent movement, that's not going to help you there. And I think the concern is that perhaps the weight of the addition or the shifting of the soil or whatever it might be is just not quite up to par with what that foundation support is. And so to feel comfortable with the recommendation, I would consult a structural engineer, and they'll come out and they'll take a look at the situation, and hopefully they'll say, well, you know what? Totally not a big deal. We can fix it with X, Y, and Z. Worst case scenario, they'll be like, phew, thank goodness you got us in time because we're going to fix this. And this is how you would do that structurally. Now you know how to hire a person. But that's the thing. When you go to a contractor, they might just come up with a solution for what they see as the issue, Whereas a structural engineer is going to tell you, this is the problem, and these are the methods of fixing it. So then you can go back to your contractor and say, here's what's going on. Can you help us with this repair in this manner? And then at the end of it, you have the structural engineer come back in and sort of sign off on the repair. So for peace of mind, I would say let's get a structural engineer in as a consult, and just kind of get a sense of what's going on, what that movement is, why you're seeing that bowing, and making sure that everything's up to par. I hope that makes sense. And, I'm sorry to be spending your money, but I'd rather be safe than sorry with what's going on and holding up my house.
Put on your red shoes and dance the blues.
Not Bowie, Jim. Bowing.
Oh, my bad.
David Boeing. No, just Boeing. Walls Boeing.
Yeah, I hope they get that taken care of, because that's a little disconcerting.
I'm not switching my team to some fancy work platform that somehow knows exactly how we work, and its AI features are literally saving us hours every day. We're big fans. And just like that, teams all around the world are falling for Monday.com. With intuitive design, seamless AI capabilities, and custom workflows, it's the work platform your team will instantly click with. Head to Monday.com, the first work platform you'll love to use.
With a Venmo debit card, you can Venmo more than just your friends. You can use your balance in so many ways. You can Venmo everything. Need gas? You can Venmo this. How about snacks? You can Venmo that. Your favorite band's merch? You can Venmo this. Or their next show? You can Venmo that. Visit Venmo.me/debit to learn more.
You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo this, or you can Venmo that. You can Venmo.
The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Card may be used everywhere MasterCard is accepted. Venmo purchase restrictions apply.
We are sticking to green and eco-friendly content this hour, trying to help all of us get into a helpful routine that can reduce our impact. So you want an easy green design move that works in any room? Why not add houseplants? They help purify the air, they boost your mood, and they soften those hard lines in your decor. Snake plants, pothos, peace lilies, these are all easy to care for, and they can thrive in a range of lighting conditions. If you want something lower maintenance, and I'm talking about like real low maintenance here, guys, dried eucalyptus, preserved moss, things that don't require watering. They really do add a natural element, but don't require the work. And if you place greenery in your windows, that enhances both the plant and the view. So win-win. I love plants that even I'm able to keep alive. And I swear to you, a snake plant is virtually unkillable. Is that a word?
It is now. They don't call you brown thumb Segretti for nothing.
Woo! That's me. Mr. Lutz, my landscaper, is very thankful for the fact that I am a terrible gardener.
Keeps the economy going, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. But let me tell you, snake plants, peace lilies, I am excellent with. Even a Christmas cactus. Let me tell you, I'm a pro with those three. So, Jim, let's help other people keep their plants alive. Well, I'll try my best. Who's up?
All right, we're going to have a little chat with Teresa now, Leslie. She's got an idea for a different kind of floor coating. How can we help out?
I'm interested in the hardwood wax oil finishing. I was going to get my hardwood floors redone. Just wanting to know what your thoughts are. I have a man and 3 dogs and was wondering, is this stuff durable? Because I can't find anybody in this area to do it, but they say I can do it myself.
Yeah, Teresa, I don't know. When you say a hardwood wax as a finish, and then you tell me you have a man and 3 dogs, it makes me think that a wax coating on top of a wood floor is just not going to do the trick. It's just, I don't think, going to be sturdy enough, because what you do with the wax is sort of, it's like a polish almost that goes on top of the lumber rather than an oil-based stain or a latex stain or anything of that sort of.
Or polyurethane or any of those.
Yeah, anything that's going to kind of seal in that surface. The wax just kind of going to coat it. And then it's kind of also, I don't think it's going to dry. I think it's just going to be a nightmare. And then I think all of the pups are going to just mess up the floor itself. And given the fact that you have 3 dogs that are running around, and if your dog gets the zoomies like my dog or Jim's dog does, the zoomies are tremendous. You're going to end up with a scratched up floor with one zoomie session. So I would say you want to go for something that's more durable. And if you want something that feels a little bit lighter, don't go gloss. Go with a satin finish. finish on a urethane or a stain. This way you can have that durable finish. You can have that color or that protection that you're looking for. It would be color and protection depending on which way you go. But I just don't think an oil-based wax is going to give you the durability that you need given the traffic that we're going to see on this floor.
But she could be curling with her puppies on it.
True. Pupperonis. Dogs are the best, but seriously, one Zoomy session, that floor is done. I hope it works out for you, though. That floor sounds beautiful, and so do your pups. Well, when you think of summer home improvements, the attic probably is not the first place that comes into your mind, but it should be. A well-maintained attic can make your home cooler, more efficient, and can even extend the life of your roof and your HVAC system. So let's start with ventilation. During the summer, attic temperatures can soar up to over 150 degrees. That is correct. Crazy hot. Hotter than that heat wave, which was awful. You know, without the proper airflow, all of that heat gets trapped, and that means your air conditioner has to work overtime to cool your living space. So adding ridge vents, soffit vents, even a solar-powered attic fan can help flush out that hot air and then keep your attic and your energy bills cooler. Next, the insulation. You might think insulation is just for winter, but it really is just as important during the summer. It does act like a thermal barrier, slowing down the transfer of heat from the attic into your home. So if that insulation is old, compressed, spotty, you can consider upgrading to blown-in cellulose or just replacing or layering on top of more fiberglass bats. It's a project that can pay off in comfort and in lower cooling costs. Now, here's a lesser-known tip. Sealing your attic hatch or those pull-down stairs. That access point is a huge source of air leakage if it's not properly sealed and insulated. And it's simple. It's a gasket or a cover kit that you can buy in store, and it prevents that hot air from seeping down into the hallway or your upstairs bedrooms. And while you're up in the attic, it's the perfect time to check for signs of trouble. You want to look for moisture, mold, signs of pests. Catching those issues now can save you major repairs down the line. So do not overlook your attic this summer. It's not a glamorous project, and it's definitely going to be hot up there, but improving that ventilation, the insulation, and the ceiling can actually make your whole house feel cooler, more efficient, and a lot more comfortable. So if you guys have a painting project, maybe you're painting the walls or updating cabinets, you want to make sure you go with low or zero VOC paints and finishes. Now, VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, are chemicals that off-gas into your indoor air, and then they can linger long after that paint dries. Now, green options are widely available in every shade imaginable, so you don't have to sacrifice style to have a healthier home. And while you're at it, look for eco-friendly stains and sealers for your floor and your furniture as well. You will breathe easier and your space will still look amazing. All right, Jim, who's up next?
All right, Leslie, according to the list here, we're going to Darlene in Texas, and she has a patio question. Patio?
Do you mean patio?
Patio. Yeah, thanks, Les.
All right, perfect.
Glad to have you having my back there, Leslie.
I'm useful sometimes.
All right, Darlene. Just kidding you, Darlene. In Texas, what's going on with your patio?
We just bought a house, and in our backyard, they laid down quite a lot of flagstone to, I guess, be a patio. The problem that we have now that we bought it is that there's nothing in between the stones. So, obviously, they're pretty much flat, I guess, or even, but there's a couple of them that just kind of stick up. And I know there's some kind of sand that you can brush on it or put in the cracks, but I just want to make sure it's done right this time because there's like nothing in between the cracks. It's just, I mean, there's sunken gravel that it's quite a ways down, like an inch.
Yeah, Darlene, it's interesting because the way you're describing it with the unevenness makes me think that there's something wrong with how the surface was prepped. Why there's nothing in between sort of the joints of the slate or the stone is another question. So I think first, if you're seeing unevenness and you can see sort of the aggregate that's underneath, it makes me think that that surface was not tamped or leveled correctly. And before you go ahead and start to whatever with those joints between the stone, which we'll get to, I would highly suggest you fix those areas of unevenness. I mean, it sounds like it's quite a large space, so I would hate to see you have to take up a lot. But what generally you would do is you would dig down several inches just to get a nice level area. Then you put in a stone aggregate, sort of like a combination of different sized stones. That gets tamped down. And I mean like tamped down tremendously for days and multiple times so that it's really almost like a road at that point. Then there's generally sand put over that, and then you put the stone on top. And I don't know if you're talking about a flagstone or a different type of stone, but that would generally be, or even a paver, that's generally the process for leveling and then putting the stones on. The problem is if you've got an uneven surface, it's going to continue to be uneven. I know you're in Texas, but it does sometimes get super cold and you could be dealing with like a freeze and thaw issue, and you don't want more unevenness to occur. So I would sort of adjust those areas where you're seeing some areas of unevenness. And then look at the other areas. If between the stones you see some weeds or whatnot coming up, I would get rid of those and try to make sure they don't come back. You can use some sort of like a Roundup type product if you're comfortable with something like that. If not, I would just weed everything. And then you can get a polymer sand, which would sort of, right, Jim? That's what it's called, polymer sand?
It's polymeric sand, but that's what it is. It's a polymer sand.
You put it in, it goes in sand-like, and then you spray it with a hose and it sort of solidifies like a glue, but you can still get the stones out of it down the road later should you need. And that should do a good job of getting rid of the weeds and keeping the stones together and kind of giving it a finished look. I know it's a large area for you, so hopefully you don't have too many areas of unevenness, but as you're working on it, if you see a stone is shifting or things just are giving you a feeling that it's not quite right, you may have to fully redo it. But let's start with areas and see what happens.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
If you went on a road trip and you didn't stop for a Big Mac or drop a crispy fry between the car seats or use your McDonald's bag as a placemat, then that wasn't a road trip. It was just a really long drive. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At participating McDonald's.
This whole next segment is thanks to Willis Carrier, as Jim has informed me, the creator of air conditioning. And thank goodness for you, Willis, because it has been a hot one. And I am so thankful to our patron saint of being cool. And I'm not just talking like Fonzie cool, like I'm talking about like,
literally.
Woo, it's a hot one. Thanks, Willis.
Thermally cool, yeah.
Now we know. Well, if you find that your AC is just working overtime this summer, the fix might not be inside the house. It could be right outside your window. With a little smart landscaping, you can cool your home naturally, reduce your energy bills, and add beauty and value to your yard all at once. So let's start with the biggest impact move, and that's planting shade trees. You know, a well-placed tree can reduce surrounding temperatures by up to 9 degrees and shade your roof, your walls, your windows from that direct sunlight. You want to go for a deciduous tree like an oak, maple, or elm. They're going to provide full shade in the summer but lose their leaves in the winter so that you can get that sun into the house when you want it and shade during the summer when you don't. Next, consider climbing plants or trellises on those west or south-facing walls. So vines like Virginia creeper, clematis, even climbing roses create a living screen that kind of blocks the sun and then cools the surface of your home. Bonus, it's going to look awesome and boost the curb appeal, but you definitely need to make sure that it grows on a trellis and not on your brick or your stucco or your siding, because then it can cause damage the way it kind of sticks to it. But a trellis is free game and looks awesome. Now, don't forget about the ground. Hardscaping like stone patios can absorb and radiate heat. So to keep things cooler, you want to use light-colored materials or add ground cover plants like creeping thyme or sedum around your pathways and patios. These will stay cool underfoot and reduce heat buildup near your home. Even a well-placed hedge or a row of tall shrubs can block that late-day sun from overheating your home's exterior walls. And here's the greenest part. This isn't just about comfort. By naturally reducing the temperature around your home, your AC won't have to work as hard, which means lower energy bills and fewer emissions. And that's a win for your wallet and a win for the planet. So if you are looking for a summer project that's beautiful, practical, and eco-friendly, let nature do the cooling. A few plants in the right places can go a long way. So let's see who's been reaching out at moneypit.com with their email questions. Jim, who's been, waiting patiently for us to open the inbox?
You mean like an emailer inner?
Yeah. Who emailered innered and has been waiting for us to read it?
Carl may regret doing that, but he did reach out to us. Carl's in Massachusetts, and he has a question that says, we recently moved into a new home, and one of my first tasks was to install a dishwasher. My problem is the dishwasher has developed a foul odor. We've cleaned it and sanitized it several times, but it still stinks. Did I miss something during the install? I mean, help me make my wife happy, will you?
Well, first, stop calling her the dishwasher.
Oh, my. Insert sandwich reference. Okay.
Oh,
my goodness.
I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
A little sorry. A little bit.
All right, Carl. So what you're probably dealing with when you get a really bad odor from a plumbing appliance or sometimes a drain, you're dealing with biogas. So what you want to do is try disassembling the spray arms. This is usually, held together by a nut that you can use to unscrew and kind of pop them off. And the spray arms have these little tiny ports in them, and sometimes they get stuck with food and they develop kind of like a black greeny gel or goo that attaches to them. So you really have to flush those out. You can use super hot water or just soak them in a mixture of water and bleach. Make sure that you also thoroughly wipe down the door seals with bleach and water, because sometimes the food kind of gets stuck in the folds of the seal, and that's yucky too and can cause like a stinky situation. And, you're just going to kind of have to take the sanitizing here to the next level by making sure you're getting those spray arms especially clean and the gasket or the seals around it as well. And hopefully that will solve the problem. I don't think you did anything wrong in the installation process. I just think this is a process of maintenance, and it's just something you've got to do. Open up all of the traps inside the dishwasher, clean those out. I mean, I'm guilty of that too. Like, I sometimes forget to open that one trap at the bottom and clean that out because, the kids put things in not fully clean. Food gets kind of stuck in there. That gets kind of stinky. So you just kind of have to be on top of all these little parts that just need a little care. And everybody should be happy with the functioning of the dishwasher and the stench in the kitchen. Hopefully there'll be none. All right. Good luck, Carl.
And something else that works, Leslie, a company called Fugu, FUUGU.com.
Okay.
They make dishwasher cleaner tablets that I personally use.
Oh, yeah.
And they work great.
All right. That's another one there, too. First, do the real work first, and then let the tablet help you along, Carl.
Well, yeah, use it as the tablet as a maintenance thing. That's what you do. Okay, so we have another email here, Leslie. I just got off on a tangent there. Pardon me.
Get back, Jim.
Next up, we've got Sylvie in Kansas says, is it okay to paint over wallpaper? The previous owner of my home put wallpaper straight on drywall with no primer, which is making it really difficult to remove. What's the worst that could happen if I painted over it? Is it going to be even harder to get off?
Yeah. It's going to be really hard to get off. And I mean, it's only going to get worse over time. So painting over wallpaper isn't the best. You're going to see the seams. You're going to see any texture. And then it's not going to be great to remove. I have seen paintable wallpaper called anaglypta paper, which is kind of texturized. But at this point, I mean, if you can't get it off, you can actually go ahead and put another layer of drywall over it. And you can go with thinner drywall, or you can go ahead and you can rent a steamer and try to get it off that way. But it's definitely going to be a challenge. So do not paint over it, Sylvie. You can do it. I'm here for you. All right? Or new wallpaper. I love it. All right. Thank you so much for joining us this Green Eco Hour of the Money Pit. We hope that you've picked up some handy hints or two, and will join us next week right here on the Money Pit. You can always find lots more home improvement advice on moneypit.com. Thanks again, guys. Remember, you can do it yourself but you don't have to do it alone.
On the Money Pit Radio Show. On the Money Pit Radio Show. Pick up the telephone, fix up your home sweet home by calling 888-MONEY-PIT. Woo!
When we started writing our thoughts down on paper, it opened up endless possibilities. Ideas could grow beyond the borders of the mind, and it changed the world. Somewhere along the way, we lost touch with paper, distracted by devices made for every purpose except for thinking and focus. On edge, waiting for the next notification. But what if new technology didn't pull us away from paper, but brought us closer to it? Listen. That's not paper. It's the sound of the new Remarkable Paper Pro, rewriting the future. A paper tablet with a true color ink display, gentle reading light, and unheard of tactility. With digital features for taking notes, thinking, and organizing, without any distractions. Paper is about to change the world again. Get your paper tablet at remarkable.com today.